Hi there, Deb Hoffmann, Guinness World Record holder of the largest Winnie the Pooh collection, fresh off the trip of going to White River for Winnie's Hometown Festival. So it was the 30th annual Hometown Festival, and some of you may not know why I go to Canada every year and what Winnie's Hometown Festival is all about. Many people think that Winnie the Pooh started as a Disney cartoon. Some people do realize, though, that Winnie's namesake was a black bear cub that Christopher Robin saw at the London Zoo. But what most people don't realize is where that black bear cub came from, and that is the town of White River. White River is a town in northern Ontario, about 3.5 hours northwest of Sault Ste. Marie. Back in 1914, a trapper named George Cook, who is the grandfather of our very good friend Chew, had a black bear cub that he was selling. And so Lieutenant Harry Colburn, who was a vet with the 2nd Canadian Infantry Brigade, was going through White River on his way to Valcarry, Quebec, which then took him to England, and then ultimately he traveled to France. And so he purchased the bear cub for $20, and in his journal there's actually an entry that says, bought bear cub, $20, and that town that he was going through was later identified as White River. And so he became the mascot of the troop, and so when Lieutenant Colburn went into active duty, he realized he couldn't take Winnie with him to France, and so he actually donated Winnie to the London Zoo. And so he actually named Winnie after his hometown of Winnipeg. So the London Zoo is where A.A. Milne and his son Christopher Robin Milne saw Winnie the bear. And Winnie was so friendly and so playful. If you can believe this, they actually let kids feed the bear by hand, sit on Winnie, and so he was very, very, very playful. And so Christopher Robin just fell in love with Winnie. And so Christopher Robin had a stuffed bear named Edward Bear that he then renamed after Winnie the Bear from the zoo, and then added the Pooh after a pet swan that they had. And so his bear now was Winnie the Pooh. And if you want to see Christopher Robin's original stuffed animals that the stories are based on, you can see them at the New York Public Library. So now, let's fast forward to today. Actually, 18 years ago, I had a newsletter. And this is before internet and eBay and Craigslist and all that stuff. It was actually a paper newsletter called the Balloon Bear Gazette. And I can't even remember how I happened upon it. But anyway, there was an ad for a festival in the Balloon Bear Gazette, and it was for Winnie's Hometown Festival. And so I said to Gary, I said, is there a chance that we could take a road trip? And he said, well, where? And I said, well, White River, Canada. And so sure enough, we got in the car and drove 13 hours to White River. Gary and I have absolutely fell in love with the people of White River and have so many friends that we go to see every year. My very best friend Nancy is from White River, and that's how we got to meet, by going to Winnie's Hometown Festival. And we love her and her husband Scooter. And so every year I have the honor of emceeing the festival. I judge the shirt tail parade, and I pick out the winners and the cutest pajamas and the most bears. Every year the town decorates floats, and there's a parade on Saturday morning. And so I also have the honor of announcing the awards for the festival, or for the parade. And so then as the festival gets started, Gary will do the music, and I'll announce the acts and the entertainment for the kids. They have a trade show, and there's raffles and different penny raffles that you can play in. And so they have all different types of vendors, and so it's a whole day of food and fun. Many times they'll have different characters that'll be there for the little kids, and of course there has to be Winnie the Pooh. When we're there, we just feel like we're part of the town, and the people just make us feel so welcome. They're so appreciative of the fact that we drive 13 hours and help out. And so, it's so bittersweet when we leave and start heading back home. But the really cool thing is that we know in another year we'll be coming back for Winnie's Hometown Festival. And so if you ever have a chance to come on out on the third weekend of August, we would love to see you at the festival. Thanks for sharing my White River experience with me. So now it's time to go on out to youtube.com/mostpooh5150. Make sure you're a subscriber, and then go on out to mostpooh.com. Click on Never Enough Pooh, and you will have another opportunity to win a free Winnie the Pooh memorabilia item from me, Deb Hoffmann. So thanks so much for tuning in. Good luck, and TTFN.